What happens when a billionaire takes a Hollywood icon to court over a single explosive comment? The trial will leave you speechless. Elon Musk has been no stranger to controversy. Whether it's his brilliant business moves or his unfiltered tweets, he's always pushed the boundaries. But this time, controversy found him in an unexpected place, the set of a TV show. On a Tuesday morning, as millions of people tuned in for their daily dose of celebrity gossip and heated political debates, Whoopi Goldberg's words made an impact no one expected. "We need to talk about Elon Musk," Whoopi began, her voice thick with frustration and conviction. The co-hosts leaned in, sensing she was about to drop a bombshell. "This man calls himself a defender of free speech, but let's be honest, what he's doing is dangerous. He's not protecting dialogue, he's stifling it. He's a threat to democratic conversation." The audience was shocked, and rumors spread throughout the studio. Within minutes, clips of Whoopi's comment were circulating online, trending with hashtags like #Whoopi versus Elon and #Free Speech Debate. Supporters and critics were divided, each side armed with opinions as sharp as swords. Elon Musk, of course, didn't stay silent. Hours after the segment aired, he responded with a tweet that sent social media into a frenzy. Whoopi Goldberg's statements on the show were not only false, but defamatory. "Time to put facts before feelings. See you in court, Whoopi." The internet has exploded. The idea of one of the world's most influential billionaires suing a Hollywood icon and talk show host seemed surreal, almost like a movie script. But it was real. Elon's legal team quickly sprang into action, preparing what would become one of the most talked about defamation cases in modern history. Whoopi, on the other hand, stood her ground, refusing to apologize or retract her words. "I'm not afraid of Elon Musk," Whoopi said on her upcoming appearance on The View. "If he wants to sue me for telling the truth, let him try." The tension was palpable. What had begun as a heated exchange of words had now turned into something much bigger, a clash between two cultural forces. But even as the world debated who was right and who was wrong, no one could have predicted how far it would go or the shocking changes that lay ahead. But what happens when personal opinions collide with legal boundaries on the stage of public opinion? The stage was set, and the stakes have never been higher. Whoopi Goldberg's words on The View didn't just start a debate, they ignited a cultural firestorm. Within hours of Elon Musk's tweet, social media had turned into a battleground. Fans on both sides clashed, each fervently defending their idol. On one side, Musk's supporters applauded his action, seeing it as a blow to the unquestioned power of Hollywood elites. On the other, Whoopi's defenders argued that she was simply exercising her right to free speech and calling out a billionaire who has grown accustomed to silencing critics. Social media quickly seized on the story, dissecting every angle. Late-night talk show comedians lampooned the battle, while legal pundits debated the merits of Musk's case. Talk radio and podcasts were filled with speculation. Was this a genuine case of defamation, or just a clash of high-profile egos? The debate spread to workplaces, dinner tables, and even classrooms. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion. But the backlash wasn't limited to Twitter hashtags or televised debates. Both Musk and Goldberg found their personal lives under scrutiny. Anonymous sources revealed behind-the-scenes stories that painted conflicting portraits of the two. For Musk, they were stories of a desperate tech mogul using his influence to silence dissent. For Goldberg, they were accusations of diva behavior and a tendency to lash out at anyone who disagreed with her. Sources at The View began to feel the heat. Some quietly supported her statements, not wanting to get caught in the crossfire. Others spoke out, sending statements supporting Whoopi's right to speak freely. Meanwhile, Tesla shares took an unexpected tumble, with some investors expressing concerns that Musk's latest move could distract him from his responsibilities as CEO. The trial, still in its early stages, has only added to the chaos. Legal documents began circulating online, detailing Musk's claims of reputational damage and lost business opportunities. The filings included a claim that Whoopi's words had directly impacted Tesla's partnership negotiations with a major corporation. Whoopi's legal team responded quickly, arguing that her statements were within the bounds of opinion and protected by the First Amendment. "This is not about defamation," her lawyer said in an interview. "This is about silencing a prominent voice who dared to criticize a powerful man." As the public watched, allies emerged on both sides. High-profile celebrities, politicians, and industry leaders began speaking out. Some argued that Musk's actions set a dangerous precedent, threatening the right to criticize those in power. Others argued that public figures like Whoopi should be held accountable for spreading misinformation, even unintentionally. The polarization was complete. What began as a comment on a morning TV show has now become a full-scale cultural battle, touching on issues of free speech, power dynamics, and the limits of personal responsibility in the age of social media. But as the noise grew, a new layer of the story began to emerge, complicating matters and making even the most loyal supporters question their beliefs. As the legal proceedings progressed, the narrative took a darker and more complex turn. Behind the glossy headlines and Twitter wars, both sides were preparing for a showdown that would become much more than just a trial. It wasn't long before the leaks began to emerge, details that hinted at something much deeper and more disturbing than anyone had anticipated. A bombshell hit the media when an anonymous source revealed the existence of internal emails from the View's production team. The emails, allegedly written weeks before Whoopi's controversial comments, suggested that producers encouraged her to turn up the heat on Musk in order to boost ratings. If this were true, it would mean that her reactions were not entirely spontaneous, but part of a calculated strategy. Suddenly, the question changed. Was Whoopi speaking from the heart or playing a role in a larger agenda? Whoopi, visibly shaken but defiant, addressed the rumors on air. "Let me be clear. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. No producer puts words in my mouth," she said. Her tone was somber, but the damage was done. On social media, people questioned her authenticity, while loyal fans rallied behind her with the trending hashtag #StandWithWhoopi. Meanwhile, Musk's camp has not been without controversy either. Investigative reporters have examined his claims, finding inconsistencies in the alleged financial losses he attributed to Whoopi's comments. Critics have argued that Musk, known for his impulsive decisions, may have filed the lawsuit more out of desperation than actual harm. Some speculated that the incident was a distraction from the internal struggles at Tesla and SpaceX, where rumblings of employee discontent were quietly brewing. And then came the unedited video. A host on The View posted a behind-the-scenes video from the day of Whoopi's famous argument. In the clip, a heated exchange between her and one of the producers painted a different picture. "Do you want me to go deeper with Musk?" she asked. "I'll tell you what's on my mind, but don't expect me to follow your agenda." The clip spread like wildfire. It was raw, real, and human. A window into a highly controlled production. For some, this vindicated Whoopi, proving that she was standing her ground against manipulation. For others, it added fuel to Musk's argument that the comments were malicious and premeditated. Both sides were strengthened, their arguments now more polarized than ever. The court battle loomed, and with it, a heightened sense of uncertainty. Whoopi's legal team called in a surprise witness, someone who could shed light on what really happened that day on set. Musk's team fought back with subpoenas for ABC's production crew and executives, raising the stakes even higher. What no one could have predicted, however, was how deeply this fight would resonate in the public consciousness. Late-night television shows turned it into satire. Schools used it as a debate topic. Families argued about it over dinner. For the average person, it was no longer just about Musk or Goldberg. It was a battle of values. Free speech versus accountability. Corporate power versus individual expression. But just when the public thought it had seen it all, the first day of the trial revealed something so shocking that it sent shockwaves far beyond the courtroom walls. The courtroom in Los Angeles buzzed with anticipation. Cameras lined the steps. Journalists took up positions, and a forest of protesters held up signs, some condemning censorship, others advocating accountability. Inside, the atmosphere was electric, the kind of tension that builds before an earthquake. Elon Musk entered first, flanked by his legal team. Dressed in an impeccable suit, he appeared calm, though the occasional tension in his expression betrayed the high stakes. Whoopi Goldberg arrived soon after, her entrance equally imposing, a quiet determination in her demeanor. The courtroom seemed to hold its breath as the two figures, so different but equally commanding, took their places. The trial began with opening statements. Musk's lead attorney painted a vivid picture of a man wronged. Her reputation has been tarnished by irresponsible comments. "This is not about stifling free speech," the lawyer insisted. "It's about accountability. Words have consequences, and in this case, those consequences were measurable and damaging." Whoopi's lawyer countered with an impassioned defense. "This trial is not about defamation. It's about silencing criticism." Whoopi Goldberg expressed an opinion protected by the First Amendment. "If we can't question the actions of those in power, what does that say about our society?" As the case unfolded, the courtroom became the scene of some of the most dramatic moments of the year. The View's production emails were introduced as evidence. Each line was dissected under the watchful eye of the audience. Musk's team argued that they showed a deliberate effort to tarnish his reputation, while Whoopi's team claimed they were irrelevant to her personal views. The highlight of the trial came when the surprise witness took the stage. He was a former producer of The View, someone who had left shortly after the controversy. Under oath, the producer revealed that there had been discussions about Musk during production meetings, but stopped short of confirming that Whoopi had been coerced. She was not pressured to say anything, the producer testified. She had strong opinions and expressed them. But the most emotional moment came from Musk's side. His lawyers filed financial documents showing a sharp drop in Tesla's stock price shortly after the clip went viral. They claimed that negative pressure directly contributed to the loss. However, under cross-examination, a financial expert admitted that several factors, including a recall announcement, could have played a role. It was a small setback in Musk's case, but one that Whoopi's team was quick to exploit. And then there was the unedited video. Played in its entirety to the court, it showed Whoopi standing firm against her producer's suggestions, but it also included moments of frustration that could be interpreted in a number of ways. The video left the court divided. Some saw a woman resisting manipulation. Others saw an anchor willing to push boundaries to gain ratings. As the trial progressed, the line between prosecution and defense blurred. The case was no longer just about Musk and Goldberg. It became a mirror reflecting society's larger struggles with truth, power, and freedom. But as the trial unfolded, the public's attention turned to one final, decisive development. Something hidden in plain sight that would challenge everything they thought they knew. The final day of the trial arrived, and the courtroom was tense. Reporters scribbled frantically, spectators whispered nervously, and the judge kept a sober expression as the jury filed back into the courtroom. The verdict was close, but no one could have predicted what it would mean for Elon Musk, Whoopi Goldberg, or the larger cultural conversation they had come to represent. The jury retired for 3 days, weighing evidence, testimony, and arguments from both sides. Finally, the decision was made. The 12 jurors stood, cleared their throats, and read the verdict. In the case of Elon Musk versus Whoopi Goldberg, we find that the defendant, Ms. Goldberg, did not defame Mr. Musk. However, we believe that certain statements made during the broadcast were irresponsible and contributed to reputational harm. The verdict shocked the courtroom. Whoopi's legal team looked relieved, while Musk's lawyers exchanged tense glances. The jury awarded Musk a symbolic dollar in damages, a clear message that while Goldberg's words had consequences, they did not rise to the level of legal defamation. Outside the courtroom, reactions were immediate and polarized. Musk supporters called the verdict a victory for holding public figures accountable for their words. Others celebrated Goldberg's defense of free speech, pointing out that the jury had essentially acquitted her of malice. The symbolic dollar became a rallying cry for both sides, each using it as proof of the moral high ground of their positions. But the true impact of the trial went far beyond the courtroom. The video, emails, and testimony exposed the intricate dance between the media, public figures, and the court of public opinion. For weeks, the media dissected the case, using it as a lens to examine broader social issues. Whoopi, in her first post-trial appearance on The View, addressed the audience with her characteristic candor. "I won't apologize for speaking my truth," she said, "but I have learned something important. Words matter. They can inspire, they can heal, but they can also hurt. And we all need to be careful with that." Elon Musk, on the other hand, took to Twitter to share his own thoughts. The verdict is what it is. What matters is the larger conversation about accountability and free speech. Let's keep talking. But the effects of the trial didn't stop there. Activists on both sides launched campaigns to raise awareness about the fine line between opinion and defamation. Legal scholars predicted that the case would set a precedent for future high-profile trials. And ordinary people began to rethink how they engaged in online discourse. For Musk and Goldberg, life slowly returned to normal, though the trial had left its mark. Musk's company has seen a renewed focus on transparency, while The View has implemented stricter editorial regulations. Both have learned hard lessons about the power of words in an era when even the smallest comment can set off a global firestorm. And as the dust settled, one truth remained undeniable. In a world where freedom of speech and accountability collide, the cost of speaking out or remaining silent is something we all share. The drama of the Elon Musk versus Whoopi Goldberg trial was not just a legal battle. It was a reflection of the challenges we all face in today's world. It highlighted the power of words, the responsibility of public figures, and the complicated relationship between free speech and accountability. But perhaps most importantly, it served as a reminder of how quickly opinions can divide us, and how crucial it is to seek understanding even in the midst of conflict. For Whoopi, the trial was a moment of reckoning, an opportunity to reaffirm her belief in speaking truth to power while acknowledging the weight of her platform. For Musk, it was an opportunity to speak out against what he believed was an unfair attack, but also a moment to reflect on the complexities of engaging in public discourse. This story teaches us a vital lesson. In a world where information spreads like wildfire, words can inspire, empower, or tear down. We must use them wisely. Freedom of expression is a fundamental right, but it comes with a responsibility to consider its impact. Responsibility is essential, but it should not come at the cost of silencing voices that challenge the status quo. So before you post that comment, share that tweet, or speak your mind on a public platform, ask yourself, are my words contributing to a meaningful conversation, or are they fueling unnecessary division? Because ultimately, how we choose to use our voices shapes not only our personal reputations, but the collective story of our society. If you found this story moving, subscribe for more in-depth explorations of the issues shaping our world. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective matters. And don't forget to like the video to keep these important conversations going. Because when it comes to the power of words, we all have a role to play.